Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Sometimes copying is good, sometimes it's not good. In this case, something happened, and you know exactly what. The Russians seem to have pushed a button, and that button means going around the world, especially in the Middle East. I mean, everywhere but North America, let's put it this way, trying to call everybody. Hey, are you joining? Hey, are you joining? Are you joining? Foreign Minister of Russia, Sergei Lavrov, was very busy in the past, I would say 2 months especially, where he toured the continent of Africa like that. And after him, Blinken and other weasels were trying to, destroy whatever this guy was trying to build for his countries. And Blinken was trying to build for his country. So what happens? It seems like a call of joining, membership call, where Russia tries to form, or at least make sure and sees who's who, what's what, in the creation of their new club as in opposition to the main club, which is the United States and NATO, which dictates around the world as of now who's doing what and who's allowed to and who's not, which is the United States. Now, Russia is doing the same thing right now, trying to gather all these people together. And I have an interesting article where Russia is about to open a military base in Sudan. Sudan is in Africa, and that's a very well-positioned geopolitical location of Sudan. And I'm going to show you where it's at. This is Sudan by the Red Sea. Saudi Arabia is here. So you remember this is, I can't remember, like 80% of the cargo that goes to Europe goes through this, or around the world, something like this. It's some, anyway. Let's go and see where that is. Sudan is right here, Red Sea. This is Saudi Arabia, very contested area here. Okay, so then you have a lot of problems here, potentially, correct? I would say. And then you have the Russians placing a little port somewhere here, military port, not we're gonna just load and unload stuff here. So let's see. And this is one thing. So it's like the Russians are copying the Americans in doing so, which is building more military bases in various areas on this planet, because we are told Russia is a imperialistic power, wants an empire, wants to dominate other areas and tries to extend its tentacles everywhere. But hey, I think Russia is a Johnny-come-lately at this kind of business, because we know we have other democracies now, countries that were, and some of them try to be right now, empires. I would mention, for instance, I don't know, France, or Great Britain, or the Netherlands, or Belgium, or the Spain, and the United States, which is the latest guy before Russia, that already has all these military bases. I have a few maps here, and I have a few articles telling you how many bases the United States has around the world, how many Russia has, and then I'm going to talk about copying another thing. Russia copied another thing, again from the United States, I guess, and it is a private military contractor. You remember Blackwater? I'm going to contrast and compare when Blackwater, the military contractor company, was formed and when Wagner Group was formed. Obviously, Blackwater is a clean, honest, free, loving company. The other ones are mercenaries, killers, and they are terrorists. Okay, so I'm not trying to put them together, lump them like that, So let's read this article a little bit here, what's going on in Sudan first. So this article comes on February 12, 2023, from Russia Today. African country, and I'm quoting, clears concerns over Russian base deal. Sudan has reportedly concluded a review of an agreement on a planned naval station on the Red Sea. Red Sea, right? So we're going to find Red Sea right here. So we're going to find out tomorrow. I would probably going to see me here yapping about Americans sending their envoys to Sudan to talk them out of it, if you know what I mean. The Sudanese military has resolved its concerns over an agreement with Moscow to set up a Russian naval base on the Red Sea coast, the Associated Press reported on Saturday, citing two Sudanese officials. And I'm quoting, "They cleared all our concerns. The deal has become okay from the military side." So that probably was the last thing that had to be, or the last door that had to be pushed with a head, because your hands were occupied bringing stuff in. An official was quoted as saying, according to the sources, Russia has also agreed to demands, including the provisions of, and I'm quoting, more weapons and equipment. So give us weapons and equipment, among others. I was talking about the hands, arm being busy having other things. You open the door with your head because you can't open it with your hand or hands. The next step is the ratification of the agreement by Sudan's yet to be formed parliament. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, right here, who visited several African states in the past week, also told reporters on Thursday that the deal was, and I'm quoting, in the process of ratification, end quote. So according to the agreement signed in 2020, the base would house up to 300 Russian military and civilian personnel and would simultaneously host up to 4 warships. Not good. Not good for competition, if you know what I mean. In 2021, Khartoum reportedly wanted to amend the deal while seeking economic aid from Moscow. So, all right, let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on here with the map. So this is the Red Sea. A lot of, if you're familiar, other American and not only British, French, and other warships are lurking in this area, okay? And they have a problem with, obviously, those guys over here, and they make sure the traffic goes just fine. Now we have a little problem here. Now the Russians are going to have a military base. Now that's bad for the competition, as I said, somewhere here. Now let's see how many bases, military bases, does Russia have versus United States? Because this is a clearly, it's an imperialistic move. Now remember, Egypt, which is the north right here of Sudan, right? So here is Egypt of Sudan, sent the paperwork, the request to join BRICS. You know, Brazil, India, Russia, China, South Africa, developing economies, and start making business or economic transactions with Russia in their own currencies, trying to ditch the dollar. Not good, the dollarization move, but not good for the Americans, but good for the other ones. And we'll see who's going to come over there in Egypt from the Americans as well. So this is going to be 2 countries right here. That's not good news for the competition. Then you have Eritrea down here. That's another thing. But let's move to Sudan here, Egypt right here. Let's see how many bases U.S. has around the world. Now I have this article. This is from February 12, 2023. Responsible statecraft. I don't know what this is, but anyway, they claim, military bases, they claim here that 750 U.S. military bases remain around the planet. It doesn't really matter if it's 750 or 250. I don't think they would come with 750. And if they would tell a lie, probably they will exaggerate 20%, 50%, and you still get about 325 or whatever, 375 bases, right? These overseas installations are now scattered across 81 countries, colonies, or territories on every continent except Antarctica. Okay, I'm not going to go deeper in this. I'm going to go to the, this is Wikipedia, and I'm going to use countries with United States military bases and facilities. And here are the countries with bases and facilities, all these little dots right here, whatever they are. Okay, so you have, see, nothing here. You got that little thing over there that controls certain things. That's a U.S. military base. It's okay. The Russians going to have it right there. You see who's over there? And yeah, because Russia is an imperialistic country. But hey, United States just to make sure that love, happiness, truth, democracy, freedom is defended all around the world, because we all voted for the United States to have that role. Not that it just says I'm going to have it because I have the biggest. Anyway, so we have here, this is United States of America, okay? This is where we are. Australia here, you have Japan, you have South Korea, you have Saudi Arabia, obviously you have Turkey, Romania, Bulgaria, Italy, whatever. I don't know what's going on here, but you see the point. Nothing here, okay? Antarctica. Now let's see how many Russians have. List of Russian military bases around the world. This is according to Wikipedia. So then I have here. This is it. Remember, this is Russia, and here are Russian territories for peacekeeping forces. Here, this is Transnistria, which is obviously Moldova. This right here, I'm in Belarus. And I have the list down here. And this is the only one that really, not really only one, but this is one of the main ones in Syria. So let's say, where? Country, in Armenia. Russia's base near Yerevan. So they have one in Armenia. All right? Right here, I'm guessing, somewhere over here. I think that's Armenia right over there. Then you have Belarus. Abkhazia, they say Georgia, but is disputed. South Ossetia, they have maintained large presence in partially recognized states, and they supposedly have a peacekeeping force over there. All right, Kazakhstan, this is, as I said, anti-ballistic missile testing range, and they have the Baikonur Cosmodrome, where it is rented to Russia, but is now under civilian administration. This is where they send their little rockets in Baikonur. Kyrgyzstan, the same. Moldova, where they have Transnistria, this is disputed. Syria, the one that they have over there in Tartus. Tajikistan, and Ukraine, now that they are over there. So compare that, all in, let's say, Europe, and a little bit here, Middle East, and a little bit here in Caucasus. So compare that with this. But anyway, these guys are having imperialist tendencies, yeah, because you're not supposed to do what we're doing. And we did this pretty well, I'm guessing. Now, let's see the Blackwater. Blackwater is the military company. Blackwater was an American private military company founded on December 26, 1996. 1996, remember 1996. Let's go with the criminals, Wagner, 1996. Wagner Group. I'm going to go right here. Dates of operation, 2014. So 1996, 2014. It's a little bit like almost 20 years, isn't it? So I'm sorry, it's just a little bit like 18 or something. So, as I said, the Russians are late at doing this, but I think they catch up. And because they do what they do now, they're called not only imperialistic because they attack Ukraine to defend, according to them, which is a fact, they're a Russian, they say Russian-speaking population, but you know what I mean, in Eastern Ukraine. And what happened over there? They say, well, we came over there to defend our brothers that are killed by the Ukrainian government, that illegitimate Ukrainian government, according to them. And if you look at it, after the coup d'etat in 2014 by those people, then they conducted elections without those separatist regions. So how can you be legitimate if you have only one side or some part of a population involved in voting? But anyway, it's a different story. The problem is you can compare, and then you have, if you say, oh yeah, they invaded that. Oh, I can give you many examples when the big boss invaded. Should I start? For various reasons. As I said, democracy, love, freedom, condoms, all that. Weapons of mass destruction. Even in Europe, they started a war. They bombarded Yugoslavia in 1999. So when they talk about, oh, we have war in Europe, oh, again, these guys are Johnny-come-lately versus the big boss. So you see, these guys are stepping in the other one's tracks, and that's bad. You know what? Why? Because they might catch up, and it's competition. But if I did this and it was right, why is it wrong for these guys to do it? Well, they can't answer that, but only saying because we're good and you're bad. But how are you good? Well, I am just good. Well, how do you look at a person if a person does good things and bad things? Or analyze, is a good inclined to be good person or bad person? Or more bad or good? Because that's how you analyze people. You don't say, oh, Emil is bad. Yeah, he's bad, but it's also good. So which is what's the proportion? Because if I'm more bad than good, yeah, you can say Emily is more bad than good. It's not. Aside from Satan, there's no, you know what I mean, only bad or God, only good. Unless you just want to ignore all that and you say that's this. We all have a little bit of something. So in this case, you know, you say, okay, we're good and they're bad. Okay, well then look at the facts. Let's look at the facts and at the historical events that determine if you did good things or bad things. I mean, I don't have to go too much back in time, maybe 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. I don't have to go to the atomic bombs dropped on Hiroshima, Nagasaki, two cities. How do you consider those? Legally, they're called... But anyway, you see, so with this kind of things, that's how you make the proportion. You can't ascribe yourself a title unless you're a despot, a tyrant. Well, from now on, I'm not a duke anymore or a count. I'm a emperor. Anybody has anything to say? I thought so. All right. You call me emperor from now on. So, yeah, they build a military base over there. Not good for these guys. I wonder when the Russians will build a military base in Nicaragua or in Cuba or maybe in Canada. And then you're going to see the Americans all, oh my God, you can't do that. Yeah, but you can do it in Europe, right? In Romania, in Poland, in Ukraine. That was one of the reasons why we have this mess over there. One of them, one of many. So yeah, you can have it. Again, everything starts from this false premises. We are good, they are bad. As I said, it's a proportion between good and evil. And believe me, we all have it. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.